Welcome to the By Design radio program. My name is Dr. James Proodian of Proodian Healthcare and ProodianHealthcare.com, where health literacy is the key to longevity. And as long as God has us on this side of eternity, my show is designed to help educate you and your families to feel better, function better, and live as many quality, disease-free years as possible. Thanks for joining me this week, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful weekend with their families and have some things planned in this gorgeous weather that I know we've all been waiting for. The last 5 weeks, we've been taking apart Dr. Daniel Amen's book called Change Your Brain, Change Your Body. And it's all about establishing the rules. What were the rules that God programmed with from a brain perspective, the 3-pound structure that lays between our ears, that gives us willpower, that gives us emotion and passion and thought. And this 3-pound structure, which is the most amazing miracle in the universe, where we have to respect it and we have to protect it. So as we continue our conversation on change, transformation, and creating real expectations for ourselves, I wanted to share a story with you this week. I had a patient come in recently, about a 375-pound gentleman, around in his late 60s. And to give you an idea of just how powerful the brain is, I treat or have seen many patients throughout my career with eating disorders, for instance. This gentleman didn't have an eating disorder, although morbid obesity is, in my opinion, considered an eating disorder and can be classified as such. When you looking at someone who is 375, 400 pounds, and we say, oh, that person eats too much, we have to be careful not to draw such simple correlations, because as you guys are learning about that prefrontal cortex and the parietal lobes and the cerebellum, which is parts of your brain that we're going to be discussing in more specifically today, this gentleman and other people I've counseled throughout the years, their weight gain is a byproduct of a psychological manifestation, meaning that I didn't treat this patient nutritionally. I will, but first I had to get the patient into some counseling because something happened in his life many, many years ago that caused this eating disorder. Bulimia and anorexia are that way as well. They're psychological conditions. So the conversation that we're having about changing your brain, you could go on diet after diet after diet, or you could read the latest and greatest herb or vitamin to take. And generally, they're very short-lived because we don't change the way we think. And I think as Christians, we have to go back to the days where maybe, you came to Christ, or whatever your walk was in terms of coming to Christ, and you think about the change that was made when you came to Christ, or the absolute miracle of salvation. That kind of change is ordained. And never make the mistake with listening to me that I think anything is more important on this planet than that, our salvation, our walk with God. That is our primary calling. The things that I'm talking to you about is how do we, after we come to Christ, and I pray that you have, how do we then live a life utilizing His design that allows us to live better quality years? And I think that where we left off, which were the 11 rules for brain, body, healthy nutrition. Here we were talking about changing our brain, or in this gentleman's case, we're going to go and change his brain through some psychological help that he needed, along with nutritional counseling to change brain chemistry so that the centers of his brain that do not allow him to have that willpower or that knowledge of making permanent change in his life can be established. For instance, when I go to a party, I'm not looking at a piece of cake or junk food and, oh, I wish I could have that. My brain chemistry is such that I'm honoring God by establishing proper brain chemistry. Those centers are turned off. That willpower that I possess, or many people possess, has been established by God, and we just have to follow the rules. So the 11 rules for brain, body, healthy nutrition, we talked about drinking plenty of water. 80% of your brain is water. Drink plenty of water throughout your day. plenty means plenty. That does not mean Coca-Cola. It doesn't mean other sugary drinks. Number 2, watch your calories. Number 3, increase good fats and decrease bad fats like trans fats. Number 4, we want to increase good carbs like fruits and vegetables and decrease bad carbs like white bread, white flour, for instance. We want to dump artificial sweeteners. We want to limit our caffeine intake, and we want to eat great brain food, which we're going to talk about today. We want to reduce our salt intake. We want to eat plain snacks. Take a multivitamin, multimineral, and fish oil every day. Just buy quality ones. Recognize when you or someone has a hidden food allergy. So those are the 11 things, the 11 rules that we're trying to establish. I'm going to pick on a couple of them. Let's go to limit the coffee intake. What does coffee do? So many people drink coffee, and we associate coffee with caffeine. But remember, caffeine is also found in tea, dark sodas like colas, chocolate, energy drink, and of course pep pills. So if your caffeine intake is limited to 1 or 2 normal size cups of coffee, that means about 8 ounces, by the way, guys, or 2 or 3 cups of tea a day, it's probably not a problem. But more than that could cause problems like caffeine restricts blood flow to the brain. It dehydrates the brain. Caffeine interferes with sleep. Caffeine can be addictive in high amounts. It can accelerate heart rate and raise blood pressure. It can give you the jitters. Okay? It could increase muscle tension. It could also cause an upset stomach. It can elevate inflammatory markers, and it can interfere with fertility. So those are some things we want to be conscious of with caffeine intake. Now, some great brain foods for you that I wanted to continue our conversation on the foods that we're eating is that obviously, like we talked about last time, food is a drug. Food is medicine. You have to look at it like you're taking medicine to keep yourself alive. God gave us these foods, and we want to use the best quality God-designed foods as possible for our brains. Now, foods that contain high amounts of antioxidants, for instance, help our bodies and our brain stay young. So many studies have shown that eating foods rich in antioxidants, which are found in fruits and vegetables, and Americans are woefully low in their consumption of fruits and vegetables. These antioxidants significantly reduce developing cognitive impairment. And that's really important. Antioxidants neutralize the production of free radicals in your body. And free radicals are chemicals that play a major role in the deterioration of brain with age. So the body produces free radicals every time a cell converts oxygen into energy. So your cells are producing this free radical. The antioxidants gobble them up like Pac-Man, you see. So we want to get rid of these antioxidants because they're damaging brain tissue. We would get rid of free radicals, because they're damaging brain tissue. So when produced in toxic amounts, these free radicals, what they do is they cause the body's cellular machinery. It damages the cellular machinery. It results in cellular death and tissue damage. It's called oxidative stress. Think about a nail outside in the rain and it rusts. That's what your cells are doing. So we want to block the rusting process of your cells. So foods rich in antioxidants, which include the fruits and vegetables, especially blueberries. Many researchers call blueberries brain berries. And New Jersey produces so many blueberries. They're right in our own backyard. And so when we look in laboratory studies, rats that ate blueberries showed a better ability to learn new motor skills and gain protection against strokes. So when we look at the fact that God gave us fruits and vegetables, all right, and these are brain foods, along with healthy foods, and I'm going to give you a few. Raw almonds, apples, asparagus, avocados, bananas, beets, blackberries, blueberries, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, carrots, cherries, cranberries, okay, kiwi, lemon, lentils, limes, olives, olive oil, oranges, peaches, peas. You get the gist. God created fruits and vegetables. Eat an abundance of fruit and vegetables throughout your day. You're going to be feeding your brain a healthy, simple carbohydrate, and you're going to be establishing a healthy antioxidant, anti-free radical, anti-oxidation process in your body. That's a good thing. That also protects us against cancer, because antioxidants help protect against free radicals. Free radicals cause cancer. Free radicals are things that are found in hydrogenated corn oil, for instance, is why they're so damaging to us. Let's move on to another one, plain snacks. So if anybody has ever told you to avoid snacking throughout your day, don't listen to them. I snack all day long. Going too long without eating causes havoc on your brain function because it makes your blood sugar levels drop too low. Now, a few shows ago, we talked about blood sugar levels, and we do not want to go into hypoglycemia or low blood sugar throughout our day. Sugar is essential. Glucose is essential to brain function. So we are going to be irritable. We're going to get brain fog. We're going to get cloudy if we have low blood sugar. Now, it could also cause emotional stress. So stress and these snacks are very important. Some examples of snacks: turkey with apple and macadamia nut, or even almonds. Deviled eggs with hummus, for instance. And there's a number of healthy snacks that you could snack on throughout your day. Of course, raw vegetable sticks like carrots and broccoli and celery. Great things to snack on throughout your day, and these are brain foods. And guys, remember, always recognize when someone, or if you don't know this, has a hidden food allergy. So many people have hypersensitivities to dairy or to gluten or to egg, for instance. And elimination dieting is such a simple thing to do. For 30 or 60 days, just simply give up the food. Simply stop eating it. So if you stopped eating all dairy products for 30 or 60 days, or you went on a gluten-free diet for 30 or 60 days, and see how you respond to that, is a very simple tool that we use in nutrition called elimination dieting. If you want to take that a little further, there are tests that you could run through blood, through stool and saliva to see exactly what your hypersensitivity or your allergy is to. Because if you have an allergy to a type of food, you certainly want to avoid it because it's going to create problems with brain function. And treat eating disorders early. Guys, 80% of children who are obese by the time that they are 18 or 19 years old, 80 to 90% of them will stay that way for the rest of their lives. Eating disorders, including obesity, have to be attacked early. If you suspect anyone with anorexia or bulimia, steroid abuse, you certainly want to get them into counseling as soon as you can. You don't want to kick the can down the road when it comes to eating disorders. And it wreaks havoc on the brain. Okay, so that's just something I think is very important. As we conclude the nutrition aspect for brain chemistry, remember, for low blood sugar, guys, we want to eat small, frequent meals, at least some protein to help maintain normal, healthy blood sugar. Dehydration, that's a simple one. We want to adequately hydrate ourselves. Trans fats, which are found in packaged foods, cookies, cakes. We want to move away from trans, man-made fats over to things like monounsaturated fats, like olive oil. If we're eating too many animal saturated fats, we want to move over to polyunsaturated fats, things like flaxseed oil. Okay? If we're eating too many simple carbs, those are the carbs that are found again in cakes and crackers and bad processed foods, we want to move over to more of a complex carb. Remember, our simple carbs should be fruits and vegetables. Okay, that's what God designed for us to eat. We want to look at eating, if we're drinking excessive caffeine, we want to limit our caffeine to maybe just 2 sources a day. Artificial sweeteners, get over to natural sweeteners like honey. Do not want to eat anything that man created in a laboratory. And if we're eating empty calories, let's get into an antioxidant. Again, fruits and vegetables, or you could even supplement with antioxidants. Very, very important. If we're dealing with food allergies, let's do some elimination dieting. I love this quote by a gentleman named Edward Stanley. He's the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Those who think they have not time for bodily exercise, will sooner or later have time to find illness. We're going to be moving into exercise next and how exercise stimulates our brain chemistry. So we talk through how exactly our brain chemistry was designed by God, the various parts of the brain. We talked about that last show. We talked about the neurotransmitters or the chemicals in the brain designed by God to give us mood, to give us energy, to give us thought, clarity, okay? How things like alcohol and drugs dramatically impact our brain chemistry. This time, or the last couple of shows, we took apart nutrition and brain chemistry and how nutrition acts like a drug. It is going to provide us with a perfectly designed, well thought out type of diet God provided for us. We've moved away from it as, Americans or throughout the world, and we want to get back to eating the diet that God designed for us. As we move into exercise next show, we want to keep in mind that our brain, okay, this 3-pound structure, is going to provide for us that willpower, that desire, that fight to be in good shape, to take better care of ourselves, and to follow God's rule. For like Luke 1:37, for with God nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible if we follow His design. Guys, thank you for listening to me, Dr. James Proodian, and the By Design program. As we move into exercise next week and its effect on your brain, I wish you have a great week, a blessed week. Go to ProodianHealthcare.com if you want any information about me or you'd like to submit me any questions. God bless you and have a blessed week.